Hi there. So for this one today, this video, it's a bit more, this one is a bit more of a stretch and release video. So what we need is 2 rolled up towels. You may be okay with 1 big towel rolled up. If you're very tight in the shoulders, if you know that you have less mobility this way, you will need probably more support, so therefore more height. You'll probably have to pile 1 rolled up towel on top of another. If you have a foam roller, you can use that instead. Secondly, a belt, any kind of long thing that you can use to stretch. And thirdly, a chair, which we'll just do one last thing with at the end. That's all, and we'll start off lying down. So the knees are bent and the feet are hip width apart, opposite your sitting bones. So this is just to start to release some of the tighter postural muscles that are working all day long. So arms are by your sides. Let's actually turn the palms up to the ceiling and just feel as the palms turn up, the tops of your arms rotate out, which opens up the shoulders. Just lengthen the back of the neck by sliding the back of your head along the mat a little bit. And just feel the back of your body resting into the mat, and notice if you can get a nice sense of weight in the back of your rib cage. We want that. And then feel down to the sacrum at the bottom of your spine. That's that flatter bone that sits between the 2 halves of the pelvis. And we're going to start the movement at that end. So at the sacrum, we're going to start to tip the weight over towards the bottom end of your sacrum, and then we're going to tip it back towards the top of the sacrum. We tip it over the bottom end of the sacrum, and then roll back to the top of the sacrum. Another description would be you're inhaling to arch and you're exhaling to tilt. Inhaling to arch, exhaling to imprint the lower back. So we shift the pelvis into anterior tilt and to posterior tilt. Inhale forwards, exhale back, and then we'll just come to somewhere in between those two, your neutral spine. And change the movement side to side. So we're going to start by pressing your right foot down into the floor, which raises the right side of the pelvis up a little and therefore drops the left side of the pelvis down. Now come back through the middle and push into your left foot, lifting the left side of the pelvis, dropping the right side. Come through the middle, push into your right foot, lifting the right side of the pelvis, dropping the left, through the middle, and drop on the right side. So keep changing, thinking of your pelvis being maybe a bowl full of water, and as you change from side to side, the water tips out across your hip bone and to the floor. So side to side, push into one foot, drop the opposite side of the pelvis. Push into the other foot, drop that opposite side of the pelvis. Couple more times. And back to where you started. Grab your belt, put your foot up into it. Let's say we start with the right foot. We'll stretch the left leg out along the floor. You're bringing the leg back till you're starting to feel a little bit of a stretch, but you're not trying to lock your knee, just keep it slightly soft. Not too bent because you lose the stretch, but soft. Ease the shoulders into the floor. Feel that you're just bringing it back to where the stretch is quite challenging, and then you're going to stay there and spiral your thigh bone in and turn it out. Rotate it in, rotate it out, and rotate in. Rotate out, rotate in. So you're thinking of the thigh bone as it sits in your hip socket, just simply turning one way and the other, and as you watch your kneecap, it turns in accordance with the thigh bone. Straighten the leg and now bring it across your midline. So now the whole leg comes across the midline and then open it out to your side. Just small, a small opening out, not all the way. And then across and then out and then across and then out. Not all the way, you could go for a much bigger stretch, but that's not what we're after. And then bring the leg directly opposite your right shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out, pull the leg a little bit closer. So try and increase that stretch. Change the legs over. So we've got left leg up. So as before, just ease the leg to where you're starting to feel the beginning of a stretch. Make sure you're not bending it too much, but if you're very tight, just be careful not to lock the knee completely. So somewhere where the knee is just a little bit soft, easy shoulders. Start that spiraling of the thigh bone so you see your kneecap turn in. As the thigh bone turns out, you see the kneecap turn out. Rotate in, rotate out. So think of unscrewing something, or maybe not unscrewing because you'd go the same way. Anyway, rotate out, rotate in, and then we'll bring the kneecap straight. We'll then go with the whole leg across your midline a little. Open it out, across and out. Across and out. One more time, across and out. So this stretch feels quite different depending where your leg is. Then bring the leg back opposite your shoulder, breathing in and breathe out. Just try and increase that stretch one last time. And then lower the leg carefully down. We're going to take the belt off and take your rolled up towels or your foam roller if you have one. So remember what I said, the more stiff you might feel in the shoulders, the more height you'll need, maybe one over the other. Okay, so we have the head on the floor, but we're going to have the palms facing each other and take them back to rest on your towel. Keep the arms a little bit wider than shoulder width, not too close together. Legs nice and straight. Breathe into the front, sides, back of your rib cage. Really fill the chest up with air, fill the ribs up with air. And as you exhale, just feel that you're pressing the arms back. You're drawing the back of the rib cage down into the mat, lengthening the back of your neck. Relax fully. Now breathe even lower. Really feel the breath into the lower back and to the sides. As you exhale again, press the arms into your towels or roller. Feel the back of the rib cage, the bra strap area, into the floor. And relax, breathing in again. And make this exhale last as long as possible, pressing the arms back, pulling the back of the rib cage into the floor. And relax and bring the arms over. Let the palms turn up and have a moment there. Turning onto your fronts now, and we'll just take your strap again. We're going to put it around your ankle, lying on your front, and then you're going to bend your knee. Now it doesn't have to come really, the foot doesn't have to come right up close to your bottom. It's enough just to have the knee a little bit bent. So we have the head resting on the hands. I may have to lift my head so my voice doesn't get muffled, but we want the head straight. We want to just pull that thigh out and relax fully, and just take your mind back to the rocking movement of the pelvis we did earlier. So right now you'll probably feel that your stomach, your belly is really resting into the mat. We're just going to try changing that and pressing the pubic bone into the floor a bit more, which just pulls the stomach up a little bit. And then release. So press your pubic bone down, which slightly rolls your pelvis back, pulls your tummy up a little. Release. And again, little tilt, pressing the pubic bone down. Release. And last time. Keep that feeling of the pubic bone being more pressed into the floor now. And just see if you can pull the thigh out of your hip socket. Really lengthen it. Possibly feeling the knee or the thigh come just off the floor. Lower the thigh down. And then we'll change over. So if your knee doesn't easily come off the floor, that's fine. It's enough just to feel that you are getting a nice stretch to the front of the hip. So the knee's bent, the head rests on your arm, and we just take a moment to just feel where you sense more of the weight is, probably on the stomach, and then just shift it so you tilt a little, pressing the pubic bone down into the floor. Release a little. Pressing the pubic bone down so you feel your lower back flatten. Release a little. Press it down. Release a little. Press it down. And now stay with that. So feel the pubic bone still pressed into the floor. Keep it there. And now go back to feeling like you're pulling your thigh bone right out of your hip. So you're lengthening the front of the thigh and possibly letting the knee and thigh come just off the floor. So just stay with that. And then lower the thigh down and take the strap off. Okay, then we come to use the chair. Okay, so we're going to bring it into the picture. Rest your elbows right on the edge of your chair. Right on the edge. Shuffle back a little bit so your knees are under your hips, and then just take your head down between your arms. So your hands can just rest on the back of your shoulders. So if this is too tight for you, this one, just get rid of the chair and just do a shoulder stretch here. So this is an adaptation if the above exercise is too difficult. So elbows are on the chair, head between your arms. Okay, try not to let the ribs hang down, get them a little bit supported. And just breathe calmly here, so just getting used to it. You'll feel quite a stretch in your backs of your arms. And then if you can, with your hands, reach the top of your spine. And just press down gently. So just trying to get that upper thoracic spine to just release. Breathing into it. And just press the hands down on the top part of your spine. And then release. Okay, and then lastly, before we finish, keeping the chair there, come up onto your feet. Have your feet right underneath your hips, okay? Right under the hips, the knees are bent, head between your arms. Okay, take a look down at your feet. Take a look at your knees, check they align over the second toes of your feet. And begin to think of pulling your thigh bones up into your hip sockets, pulling your kneecaps up, really pulling up at the front of your thighs. And then bend the knees, align them over the second toes. And once more, start to straighten, pulling your thigh bones right up into your hips. Pull the kneecaps up, tightening the fronts of the thighs, lengthening the backs of the legs. Bend. Bring your hands in. And we're going to just slowly roll back up and just roll the shoulders around. Thank you.